Any tips for getting your spouse to move and exercise more? He watches me work out and run consistently, but he doesn't seem to be consistent. He might work out twice a month or so. I'm a big believer that working out helps with your mental health and temper. He can easily get upset and be really negative about his body. Any tips to nicely mention that working out consistently will improve his life? I've tried to explain that I do it so that I'm the healthiest version of myself for our boys.
I was going to let you dive in, Josh, because I'm sure
Yeah, I
you
was gonna
might
say
have
I actually
some.
want Josh's take on this as the dude. Like, how
Well,
would you
and
want
also
to
you can
hear it?
relate to the temper, mental health side of things too.
What are you
Not even
what are
like
you
I'm not even
talking
saying
about?
I'm not saying that in a joking way, but like you've been very honest about like going through those struggles.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of that was gut related, but maybe you can just like relate to this guy in some aspect and help KD.
Yeah, I just didn't want to read it and then be the first person to answer. I figured it would sound nicer if one of you jumped in and I came back. But yeah, no, I can take it. So this kind of goes back to our previous conversation about this topic, and Joel brought up the idea of struggle and like something hurting enough. And that was something we kind of riffed on for about a half an hour in that episode, I think. But if he's getting to this point, he might be there, he might be close, and he needs that little tipping point. But if something hurts enough, if something's painful enough, if you're struggling with something enough, it's going to spark a change, or at least it should. And this can go one of two ways for a lot of people. It either does spark that change, like, I'm tired of this, I'm making the change, this is what I have to do, I'm committing to this, I'm not living like this anymore. That's the one. Or the other is we adopt this victim mentality of this is just the way it is and it stinks and everything sucks. And that is very difficult to pull yourself out of. And you're going to need some type of reality check to snap yourself out of that. Like whatever that reset is, you need a shock to the system to pull yourself, reframe, give yourself that different perspective. Like, okay, this is in my control. I do have the power to change. It's up to me to create these changes. And going back to what we just talked about, there's a lot of negative habits that can be making it feel really difficult to make certain changes. It feels like everything's stacked against you. You got to knock that shit down and rebuild. You have to start from scratch. What can you commit to? Be consistent with one little thing. So he might be doing one or two big workouts a month. Maybe he's doing this for 60, 90 minutes. If he can just move his body 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. If he's doing nothing, go for a 10-minute walk once a day
Yeah.
at the same time every day. Every morning before the kids get up, sunrise, coffee, and walk, whatever that is, and build on that. It is so much more important to be consistent than it is to be perfect. You don't have to do the big shiny thing first. What can you realistically do that doesn't break everything, that doesn't feel overwhelming, and that you can do every single day? Because it does make a change. I wasn't negative in regards to my body when I was going through my struggles. It was gut health, it was energy, everything sucked. And I knew I wasn't showing up for anybody else. That was my frustration. That was my tipping point. And that's what I said. I was at the point where, like, this is not a life worth living. I need to change things. And I was eating okay and I was training 6 days a week. So my changes were a little bit different. It wasn't about working out, it was about cleaning up my diet a bit further. It was about moving my body more. It was really about adopting meditation practices, mindset practices that allowed me or that taught me how to utilize certain tools and to reconnect with the present moment and put my body on a path to healing, activating my parasympathetic nervous system. So there's all kinds of lifestyle things that I had to implement. But I would argue that the movement and the training is the easiest part. It is so low friction. You don't have to learn anything. You can literally just get up and move your body. If he can commit to a week, I guarantee he's already going to start feeling better. And once you start feeling the difference, it's so much easier to build on that and create that momentum. A body in motion stays in motion in all forms of momentum. So if he starts to create that and he starts to feel that, and then in a month or two, he starts visually seeing those changes, he's going to get some confidence. He's going to want to build on top of that. And then maybe instead of a 10-minute walk, he's still doing that. But the next thing he's compounding is he's jogging for 10 minutes or he's lifting a few days a week for 20 minutes, whether it's body weight or you guys have any equipment at home, whatever that looks like. But you got to start. And he either needs to realize that he's at his tipping point